Hi, my name is Amy Palmer, and in the next few minutes, I'm going to tell you about the scariest, most chilling day of my life. The day I cursed at my doctor, telling him to go beep himself before running out of the room crying my eyes out, wishing I'd never stepped foot in his office. You see, since 1995, I've suffered from unbearable, agonizing back pain. I felt like I was being stabbed with a rusty knife, and it lasted all day, every day. For 25 years, this excruciating pain made my life a nightmare. I took so many pills every day, including antidepressants, that I felt like a drug addict. I gained over 30 pounds of body fat because I could no longer exercise. My husband and I were constantly fighting, and I felt him slipping away, which was only made worse because my relentless back pain meant we couldn't have sex. I was terrified he'd ask for a divorce, and that our sweet children would grow up in a broken home. I was so desperate that I tried everything. Chiropractors, physical therapists, massage therapy, stretching, yoga, acupuncture, cortisone injections, pills. Yet despite all my efforts, the pain got worse and worse. My hopes had been shattered so many times, I thought I was destined to live with back pain forever. Just when I thought it couldn't get any worse, my doctor sat me down and told me I needed emergency surgery on my spine. My back was so damaged that the discs were about to snap, and the doctor warned me that without immediate surgery, the sharp discs in my back would break, slicing my spinal cord in half and leaving me paralyzed from the waist down. Even now, talking about it has me almost in tears. It's hard for me to tell you this story, but it's important that you hear it because in the last 6 months, my life has turned around drastically. Through a strange twist of fate, I discovered a simple movement that gave me instant relief and completely eliminated my low back pain and sciatica in just 3 weeks. Being pain-free has transformed every area of my life. I can exercise again, and I've already lost 22 pounds of body fat. I'm thriving at work and even got a promotion recently. My husband and I are stronger and more intimate than ever before. My insomnia is gone, and I have the energy of a woman 30 years younger. But the best part is that I was able to avoid surgery. And 6 months later, medical tests show my back is stronger and healthier than it's ever been. So why am I telling you all this? Well, in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how I eliminated my back pain naturally in less than 3 weeks, and show you how you can get the same relief without chiropractors, physical therapy, invasive medical procedures, addictive pain pills, or bogus supplements. Instead, I'm going to show you a simple movement that puts your spine into perfect alignment and provides instant relief from pain by releasing all the tension that builds up in your back. This movement has been verified by top experts from Harvard, Stanford, and Yale. It's so effective that it's used by the world's top athletes, including NFL footballers, NBA players, and MMA fighters to stay injury-free. It's even used by Hollywood actors when preparing for a physical role. This natural movement only takes 30 seconds to perform and works the very first time you use it. Not only that, but it also helps to treat bulging, herniated, or slipped discs, as well as sciatic pain, in 30 days or less. The best part is it requires zero equipment, so you can do it from the comfort of your own home. It's so gentle and easy on your body, you'll never break a sweat. And it's doctor approved, so you know it's completely safe. I promise this will work for you, even if you're in your 60s, 70s, or 80s. Even if you're completely out of shape, and even if everything you've tried in the past has failed. But that's not all, because in a moment, I'm going to show you the #1 mistake people in back pain make. Hint, you're probably making this mistake right now as you watch this. How the pharmaceutical companies have rigged the system to profit from your pain, and the most important thing you can do to take back control. How to prevent boomerang back pain when your pain returns again and again. Now, I have to admit that when I discovered this information for myself, I was extremely skeptical. After all I'd been through, I couldn't believe that a 30-second movement would give me instant relief from back pain. But as you'll see in just a moment, it works better than anything I've come across, which is why I'm so excited to share it with you today. So let me go ahead and show you exactly what this secret is. And I'll give you step-by-step instructions you can use right now to get instant relief from back pain and sciatica and completely eliminate your pain in 30 days or less. Like I said, my name is Amy Palmer. I'm 53 years old and I live in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Until recently, my life was destroyed by low back pain. But it wasn't always that way. Growing up, I was a gymnast and competed all over the East Coast. All through my 20s, I was in great health. And by the time I turned 30, I was living the dream. I was climbing the corporate ladder as an advertising executive. I was a devoted mother to 3 beautiful children. I was married to the man of my dreams. On top of all that, I still had time to volunteer at my church and run 3 miles every morning before work. I had everything a girl could want, but then things began to go downhill. It started quite innocently. I was at work, and just like every other day, I had spent 8 hours sitting in my office chair hunched over my computer. As I stood up to go home at the end of the day, I felt a twinge of pain in my lower back. It was quite mild, so I didn't worry much. After all, everybody's back hurts from time to time. I took a few Tylenol when I got home and didn't think about it again. But as time went on, the pain returned more and more frequently. For example, if I took a long drive in the car, my back would be on fire for the rest of the day, and I'd struggle to fall asleep that night. Or my back would start to ache when I went out for my daily run. So I'd have to walk for a few minutes, waiting for it to go away. When the pain was light, it was quite manageable. I lived my life as normal and put on a happy face, pretending everything was okay. But after a few years of this, my life began to fall apart. Badly. The pain became absolute torture. I'd be in complete agony from morning until night. The minute I woke up, I'd feel a sharp, searing pain in my lower back, which made it almost impossible to get out of bed. And to make things worse, I suffered from burning sciatic pain that ran all the way down my leg to my foot. I tried to hide it, but I walked with a limp. And even though I was still in my 30s, I felt like an 80-year-old woman. One by one, all the things I loved were taken away from me. For example, going to work became a nightmare. I used to love my job, but now sitting in my office chair was excruciating. I would count down the minutes until meetings ended, and I took a scary number of pain pills to get through the day. I struggled to concentrate, and everyone around me began to notice. I was less attentive in meetings, but I was too embarrassed to tell anyone how much pain I was in. I just didn't think they'd believe me. At the end of the day, I waited until everyone else left so they wouldn't see me limp out to my car. To make matters worse, I had to call in sick so many times I was afraid I'd lose my job. I had to stop exercising because it was too painful, and my body paid the price. I gained more than 30 pounds of hideous body fat. No matter what I wore, I felt ugly. Every time I sat down, I had to rearrange my top to hide the rolls of fat on my belly. When our family went on vacation, I was so ashamed of my body, I refused to take my shirt off. I didn't want my own husband to see me in a bikini. Even going to church, which used to be one of the highlights of my week, became impossible. I was losing every good thing in my life, and I was terrified that I'd be in pain for the rest of my life. The most frustrating thing was I was doing everything I could to get better. I tried 5 different physical therapists, 10 different chiropractors, and I had as many massages as I could afford. I tried cortisone injections, acupuncture, hot yoga, personal trainers, but nothing helped. I was poked and prodded by doctor after doctor and referred to specialist after specialists, but none of them gave me the answers I so desperately needed. I felt hopeless and fell into a deep depression. I didn't want to get up in the morning because I couldn't face another day of unbearable pain. My doctor prescribed antidepressants, and I'm ashamed to admit it now, but there were times where I thought of ending it all. However, it was last year when I hit breaking point. You see, about 6 months ago, my husband and I were sitting out in our garden, drinking sangria and enjoying the sunshine. I finished my glass and stood up to pour myself another one. And that's when it happened. A bolt of excruciating pain ran through my lower back. The pain was sharp, searing, and unbearable. It felt like I'd been stabbed with a knife. I screamed so loud the neighbors came out to see what was going on, and I fell on the ground in agony. My husband tried to pick me up, but that just made my back spasm stronger. The pain was worse than childbirth. It was so bad, I thought I was going to pass out. My husband knew I had to get to the emergency room, but I couldn't stand up to walk to the car, and I had to crawl one agonizing movement at a time. It felt like crawling over broken glass, but eventually I made it. When I got to the hospital, I was given pain medication, then immediately taken for an MRI. My husband and I nervously waited for the results. It only took a few minutes, but it felt like a lifetime. When the doctor returned, he had a grim look on his face. I knew it was going to be bad, but I couldn't believe what came next. "Amy, I'm afraid I have some bad news," he said. I started sweating. My heart was pounding so hard in my chest, I thought I was having a panic attack. "I've looked over your MRI, and I have to tell you, it's serious. You have what's called a bulging disc. Now, millions of people have bulging discs and don't even realize it. But because you've had this for so long, your situation is very serious." What he said next left me speechless. "Your disc is bulging so badly, there's a risk that your back will break. If that happens, the disc will slice through your spinal nerve, leaving you paralyzed from the waist down." I thought I was going to throw up all over his office. Paralyzed? It didn't seem possible. Before I had a chance to respond, he said the dreaded words, "Amy, you need emergency surgery." He went on to explain the details of the operation, and it frightened me half to death. They would cut through my belly to get to my back, then drill holes in my vertebrae and insert a metal support to stabilize my spine before stitching me up. The surgery would take up to 10 hours, and the recovery process would be incredibly difficult. I wouldn't be able to work for months, and I wouldn't get my life back for as much as a year, assuming there were no complications. When I asked if they would do the surgery right away, he said that because it was such a complicated operation, I could take a couple of days to think it over. He gave me pills to manage the pain for a few days, and a number to call when I was ready to book the surgery. Driving home from the hospital, I was in despair. I couldn't believe my condition had gotten this bad. But the surgeon's warning had been very clear. If I didn't get the surgery soon, I faced a very real risk that a disc would slice through my spinal cord, and I'd spend the rest of my life in a wheelchair. When I woke up the next morning, I rolled over and realized my husband wasn't beside me. I struggled out of bed and found him downstairs at the computer. "Amy, come and look at this," he said. My husband told me that while he thought I might have to go through with the surgery, we should get a second opinion first. So he spent the morning researching every doctor in the tri-state area. He looked at hundreds of doctors before he found someone he thought could help me, a Dr. Steve Young. As we read the reviews online, we discovered that Dr. Steve was Philadelphia's top back pain expert. For more than 20 years, he had built a reputation for taking on the most difficult back pain cases and providing instant relief without injections, needles, pills, or surgery. His method was so effective that patients came from all over the East Coast to work with him. His list of credentials was very impressive. He'd studied with the world's top biomechanics specialists. He'd worked with many professional athletes, including NFL footballers, NBA players, and MMA fighters. His work has been published in over 50 medical journals, and it even helped Hollywood actors like Zachary Quinto. My husband and I knew we had to meet him. So we called Dr. Steve's office and asked for an appointment. Unfortunately, his schedule was completely full for the next 3 months, so I was out of luck. But when my husband explained the situation, the receptionist put Dr. Steve himself on the phone. As soon as Dr. Steve heard about the surgery I'd been urged to undergo, he said, "Don't even think about that surgery. I'll open up extra early on Monday morning just for you, and we'll take care of this." I was incredibly relieved that Dr. Steve was willing to see me, and it meant so much that he'd rearranged his schedule for me. My husband and I spent the weekend counting down the minutes to the appointment. When Monday morning came along, I was really nervous. Dr. Steve was my last chance to avoid surgery and find relief from so much pain. I was desperate for this to work. As we drove to his office, my hands were shaking and my heart was beating out of my chest. When we arrived, Dr. Steve was there to greet us, and he immediately made me feel at ease. In fact, I felt so comfortable, I told him everything. The constant searing pain, the long sleepless nights, feeling like an addict because I had to take so many pain pills, how the relentless pain was destroying my work life, my relationship with my kids, and most of all, the gripping fear that surgery was the only option left. Dr. Steve really listened, and I felt so safe in his presence. For the first time in years, I believed it would all be okay. He made it clear that I could avoid the surgery and be pain-free in as little as 2 to 3 weeks. And he promised that I'd walk out of his office that day feeling better than I had in years. When I started to cry, Dr. Steve handed me a tissue and said, "Don't worry, we're going to take care of this right now." He pulled a picture from his filing cabinet and set it in front of me. It was a drawing of a spine, and he began to explain. As you can see, the spine is made up of vertebrae, spinal discs, and the spinal nerve. Now you'll notice that there is a gap between the spinal nerve and the vertebrae. That's what a healthy back looks like. But many of us, through no fault of our own, don't have that space. Instead, the vertebrae are pushed onto the spinal nerve. Now, as you can imagine, the spinal nerve is very sensitive. It's not supposed to be touched. So when your vertebrae begin pushing against it, it causes a red-hot fire to go through your entire back. We call this a nerve impingement, and it's the root cause of back pain. The more force the vertebrae exert on the spinal nerve, the worse the pain will be, which is why your pain levels fluctuate throughout the day. When the vertebrae lightly press against your spinal nerve, you'll have a dull, mild pain. But when the vertebrae exert a lot of force on the nerve, the pain becomes excruciating, and it gets worse. Sometimes the vertebrae exert so much force on the spinal nerve, it becomes pinched. And when this happens, not only will you be in agony from your back, but stabbing sciatic pain will run down your leg because the spinal nerve is so tightly pinched that the nerves in the leg start overfiring, which causes an awful stinging pain. He sat back in his chair and asked if everything made sense so far. I said, "So all back pain is caused by the vertebrae touching the spinal nerve? And the more pressure the vertebrae puts on the spinal nerve, the worse the pain?" "That's exactly right," he replied, "which is why if we want to eliminate back pain, we need to get the vertebrae away from the spinal nerve. If we can do that, your back pain will disappear." I asked Dr. Steve, "How do we create space between the vertebrae and the spinal nerve?" He smiled and said, "That's the million-dollar question. You see, there's something deep in the lower back called the iliacus muscle. And this tiny muscle is the #1 cause of back pain, as well as bulging discs, trapped nerves, and sciatic pain. For such a small muscle, it causes a huge number of problems. The iliacus muscle connects your spine to your legs. Whenever you walk, sit down, bend over, or do anything that involves your back, your iliacus muscle is working hard, doing its job to support your spine. For most of human history, this hasn't been a problem. But now, because of our modern lifestyles, the iliacus muscle is massively overstimulated. Dr. Steve walked over to a model skeleton. He said, "Did you know that sitting puts more pressure on your spine than standing up?" You see, when you sit down, the iliacus muscle gets very tight, and the longer you stay seated, the tighter it gets, especially if you're sitting in an office chair. The problem is that the iliacus muscle connects directly to your spine. So when it gets tight, it pulls your vertebrae onto your spinal nerve. In the short term, this causes chronic back pain, but in the long term, it can lead to bulging, herniated, or slipped discs, which are absolutely excruciating. But sitting is just one of the ways our iliacus muscle gets tight. It also gets tight from driving your car, exercising without good technique, having a bad computer setup at work, using your cell phone too often, sleeping in the wrong position, or even being overweight. At that point, I got really angry. I couldn't believe that I'd spent years and thousands of dollars working with chiropractors, physical therapists, and doctors, and not a single one of them had told me that the real cause of my back pain was tight iliacus muscles. I asked Dr. Steve why I'd never heard about the iliacus muscle before. He said it was simple. Too many people were profiting from my pain to ever tell me the truth. The pharmaceutical companies alone make $100 million every year selling pills to people suffering from back pain. Unfortunately, we're nothing but a paycheck to them. And most doctors don't know anything about this stuff. After all, doctors are only given a measly 7 hours of training on pain management in medical school. This explained why nothing else I'd tried had worked. Other methods of treating back pain, such as chiropractic care, physical therapy, or even surgery, do absolutely nothing to treat the root cause of back pain, tight iliacus muscles. And without releasing those tight muscles that pull your spine out of alignment, treating back pain is basically impossible. So I asked Dr. Steve the logical next question. How do I release my tight iliacus muscles? I was expecting him to say it involved some kind of difficult chiropractic technique, painful deep tissue massage, or a medical procedure involving needles or injections. But Dr. Steve told me it was much easier than I thought. Dr. Steve had spent his entire career studying the iliacus muscle. He's done more research on this subject than anyone else on Earth, including working with the world's top biomechanics specialists and analyzing over 30,000 clinical studies. After years of refining his techniques, Dr. Steve developed a unique way to release tight iliacus muscles. It's so effective that it provides immediate relief from lower back pain to anyone who tries it. He told me that if I used it daily, I'd be pain-free in 30 days or less. It's a formula he's developed called targeted spinal release, and it's the fastest and easiest way to instantly eliminate lower back pain. Targeted spinal release is a simple 5-minute process, scientifically designed to release and straighten tight iliacus muscles, which in turn moves the vertebrae away from your spinal nerve, giving you instant relief from pain, without injections, needles, or surgery. Dr. Steve went on to explain that the movement didn't require any equipment, could be used from the comfort of my own home, and took less than 5 minutes. The best part was that it was totally painless, with zero stress or strain on the body. In fact, it's so gentle and effortless that thousands of 80 and even 90-year-olds have used it to successfully treat back pain. That morning, Dr. Steve coached me through the targeted spinal release method. And let me tell you, it was unlike anything I'd ever experienced. Within 30 seconds, I felt the pressure on my spine release, and the pain began to subside. Within a minute, my lower back felt looser than it had in years. And by the end of the process, which took less than 5 minutes, I felt like I'd had the best massage of my life. Dr. Steve had me stand up. And that's when it hit me. There was no pain in my back whatsoever. I moved my hips around, touched the floor, reached up in the air, expecting the pain to return at any moment. But to my surprise, it didn't. I started to cry again as my husband held me. But these weren't tears of sadness. These were tears of relief. Relief that the sick, twisted nightmare I've been living through might finally be over. Relief that God had answered my prayers, as I always knew He would. Relief that for the first time in decades, I was pain-free. I kept expecting the pain to come back at any moment, but incredibly, it didn't. I felt on top of the world. Before we left his office, I asked Dr. Steve what the next steps were. He said it was really simple. He wanted me to use the targeted spinal release method every day for the next week, then come back for a follow-up appointment. I couldn't stop thanking Dr. Steve for agreeing to see me, and he was so gracious, insisting it hadn't been a problem and telling me how glad he was that I was already feeling better. As I left his office, he told me something important. Remember, Amy, you've spent 25 years harming your back, so it will take a little time to heal. But don't worry, because I promise you'll make a full recovery and that you won't need the surgery. Thank God Dr. Steve gave me that warning, because when I woke up the next morning, my back was throbbing in pain. But instead of falling into despair, I stayed positive and immediately used the targeted spinal release method. It took about 5 minutes, and I did the whole thing while still in bed. It was so easy and effortless, I never broke a sweat. And I felt in total control of my body. Once again, I couldn't believe how quickly it worked. Within a few moments, the pain was completely gone. I was so excited I was bouncing around like a little girl. And I woke my husband to tell him about it. He hugged me and told me how proud of me he was, and how much I deserved this. A few minutes later, he got into the shower so he could get ready for work. And I did something I hadn't done in years. I hopped in the shower with him for a quickie. Believe me, he went to work with a smile on his face. Throughout the day, the pain returned in spurts, but each time, I stayed calm and simply used the targeted spinal release method again. The crazy thing is, I could use it while sitting at my desk. Nobody knew I was doing anything. I continued to use the method every day, and the next week, I went back to Dr. Steve for our follow-up appointment. As soon as I saw him, I said, "You're not going to believe what's happened to me." He was so excited as I told him how extraordinary my week had been, how each morning I'd use targeted spinal release and the pain would immediately disappear, how every day my back felt stronger than ever. I was already getting compliments on how I looked, as my posture improved from doing the movement. My belly looked flatter than it had in years. Telling Dr. Steve about my week made me realize how far I'd come. Just the week before, I'd thought surgery was the only option. Yet that day, I walked into this office 100% pain-free, something I could have never dreamed of before I met Dr. Steve. And today, 6 months later, I'm happy to say that I'm still pain-free. Sure, there are rare moments when my back gets stiff or tight, but when it does, I take 5 minutes to use the targeted spinal release method, and I'm good as new. Being pain-free has given me a whole new quality of life. My energy levels are sky high. My husband and I are stronger than ever. I've lost 22 pounds, and I'm back to running every morning. I'm thriving at work, and I'm closer to my children than ever before. Most importantly, I'm happy, and that's something you can't put a price on. But recently, something began to put a damper on my spirits. You see, the only way to meet Dr. Steve and try targeted spinal release was to see him in Philadelphia. That meant that millions of Americans were missing out on his powerful back pain solution, especially since Dr. Steve doesn't advertise or even mention his unique system in media interviews. With so many people suffering from daily pain, I knew I had to help Dr. Steve share his formula with the world. So I sat down at my computer and sent him an email asking if he'd ever considered sharing his knowledge online. 10 minutes later, he called me. It turned out he'd already been thinking about that exact thing. And what happened next was extraordinary. Dr. Steve hired a professional film crew to come to his office and record him teaching targeted spinal release technique in a 60-minute video masterclass. He had the entire program edited and packaged by some of the top design experts in the field. Finally, after months of work, it's ready to be released to the world. It's called Back Pain Breakthrough, Dr. Steve's 6-part video masterclass teaching the targeted spinal release method. Back Pain Breakthrough is Dr. Steve's world-famous program, giving you step-by-step instructions to get instant relief from back pain and sciatica, and to completely eliminate your pain in 30 days or less. Hands down, simplest and easiest to follow back pain program ever created. Inside Back Pain Breakthrough, Dr. Steve holds nothing back, sharing the exact same information with you that he normally reserves for his high-paying clients, who travel from all over the East Coast to come and visit in his Philadelphia clinic. This incredibly simple and easy-to-follow guide contains everything you need to treat back pain from the comfort of your own home, without chiropractors, doctors, injections, pills, or surgery, which is why this is the #1 program for anyone suffering from back pain. So let me show you everything you get when you get Back Pain Breakthrough today. The first part of the program is the Back Pain Breakthrough 6-part video masterclass, where you'll discover exactly how to treat your back pain and be 100% pain-free within 30 days or less. Remember, this video presentation is like having Dr. Steve in your own home, as he walks you through everything you need to do to treat your back pain. Inside this video masterclass, you'll discover exactly how to use targeted spinal release, complete with detailed and step-by-step instructions. You'll learn how to perform each movement, what time of day you should use the movements, and how long you should hold each movement for, all clearly explained so you have zero guesswork. You'll get a live demonstration of targeted spinal release, as Dr. Steve brought in Marie from his team and coaches her through the method live on camera. It's like having Dr. Steve there with you, walking you through every step of the journey. You'll discover one simple stretch you can use every morning to realign your spine and instantly eliminate back pain. This will become a key part of your morning routine in no time. You'll discover one easy tweak to make to your office chair, which will keep your back as strong as an ox at work. This is the best way to prevent your pain flaring up while you're sitting over your computer. And the best part is no one will ever notice you're doing it. You'll discover the back pain extinguisher, an additional technique you can use anytime pain comes back, which will relieve the pressure on your spinal nerve and provide instant pain relief. And finally, you'll discover the Sciatica Soother, a simple 30-second movement which provides long-lasting relief from sciatic pain. If you're suffering from sciatica, this movement will soon become your best friend. As I've said, this program contains everything you need to realign your spine, release tight muscles, and get and stay pain-free. The video masterclass is short and sweet, running for just over an hour, allowing you to get started treating your pain as fast as possible. And I almost forgot to mention the best part. Dr. Steve has made Back Pain Breakthrough available as a digital download. This means that immediately after you secure your spot in the program, you can watch the video masterclass online. This is awesome, as it means you don't have to wait 3 to 5 days for it to arrive in the mail. Instead, you get instant access, and you can get started with the program immediately and begin reducing your pain just moments from now. That said, you might prefer to read than watch a video, which is why Dr. Steve went to enormous effort to create a special bonus ebook called Targeted Spinal Release, the Manual, where you'll discover the world's most effective method for eliminating back pain. This manual contains all the same information as the video masterclass, but it also includes a number of bonus strategies to help you get pain-free even faster. For example, you'll discover one additional stretch you can use in the morning to stop pain dead in its tracks, removes pressure from your spine, and will make you feel 10 years younger. You'll discover the #1 technique to help you extend your spine before falling asleep, so you can fall asleep in seconds. If your back pain has been causing insomnia, this will be one of the most important movements you ever learn. You'll discover Dr. Steve's simple bracing strategy. This strategy is something you should use anytime you're changing positions, going from standing to sitting, getting out of bed in the morning, or picking anything up, so you can protect your spine from damage during sudden movements. Many users say that this strategy alone helps them to get and stay pain-free. Plus, Dr. Steve will teach you the targeted spinal release method using step-by-step instructions. And he's included lots of detailed pictures for every step. This way, you'll know exactly how to perform the method to get pain-free as fast as possible. As you can see, this is the highest quality back pain product on the market today. And we're still not done, as Dr. Steve has one other bonus protocol he'd like to share with you. It's called Accelerated Healing Techniques. Inside this cutting-edge guide, you'll discover how to customize your back pain breakthrough to your body, all from the comfort of your own home. You see, while targeted spinal release works for 100% of the people who use it, some of Dr. Steve's patients want to know what else they can do for even faster results. This is where Accelerated Healing Techniques comes in. Inside this bonus protocol, you'll discover the simple way to customize targeted spinal release to the specific cause of your pain. For example, if you sit in an office chair a lot, or you're staring at a computer for 8 hours a day, or you have to bend over and pick up a lot of heavy objects. Dr. Steve will provide you with additional guidance to prevent your back pain from returning. The good news is that Dr. Steve explains how to do this in a way that's so simple, anyone can quickly understand it. But that's not all. Inside the Accelerated Healing Techniques, you'll also discover Dr. Steve's most effective and closely guarded secrets for getting out of back pain as fast as humanly possible. You'll discover how to heal your body from the consequences of taking pain medication, helping your gut to recover, and treating the inflammation that's built up in your body as a result of taking these pills. You'll discover the 1-inch fix, small tweaks to your posture which switch on inactive muscles and keep your lumbar spine in perfect alignment. Mastering this ensures you won't just get pain-free, it makes sure you'll stay pain-free for the rest of your life. And finally, you'll discover Dr. Steve's secret anti-aging and anti-inflammation solution you can make at home and drink daily. Hint, the ingredients are probably already in your kitchen. So now that you've gotten a peek behind the curtain, I think you can see just how valuable this system is, why this is the best back pain solution on the market today. But don't take my word for it. Listen to what actual back pain breakthrough clients had to say after using the program. Matt J. from Sydney, Australia says, "I've spent thousands of dollars on physios, massage, and chiropractors, and it was a waste of money. I was still in constant pain. But after just one session with Back Pain Breakthrough, I immediately felt the results. I used the protocol throughout the day when I had a few minutes and couldn't believe how well it worked. The best part was waking up in the morning, arching my back in bed, and hallelujah, no pain. I continue to use it every day, and I've been able to start running again and have no more pain at work. I recommend this program wholeheartedly to anyone with back pain. You won't be disappointed." Sal B. from Tacoma, Washington says, "It's amazing. I've suffered from sciatica for years. It's extremely painful and feels like my back and feet are burning. But after using targeted spinal release for just 3 days, I'm completely pain-free. Now, when I get the occasional twinge, I perform the movement again, and I'm back to normal right away. I can't thank you enough as this has changed my whole life." Brian W. from Dallas, Texas said, "I can't believe it. After using the program for just 1 day, the pain has completely disappeared. I've been able to start golfing again, and I'm so happy to have my life back. Thank you." Now, given everything you've discovered today, I'm sure you're wondering how you can get your hands on Back Pain Breakthrough as quickly as possible. You may also be wondering how you should use it for best results. Well, unfortunately, it's not that easy to get access to the program. You see, one of the special bonuses of joining today is that you'll get access to Dr. Steve's email hotline. This is where you can get Dr. Steve's personal email address. And if you ever get stuck or have any questions about your back pain, you can shoot Dr. Steve an email and he'll reply personally. This is an extremely valuable bonus, and it's yours 100% free when you sign up today. However, it does come with a downside. In order for Dr. Steve to be able to answer everyone's questions, we need to limit the number of people who join Back Pain Breakthrough. The good news is that I've reserved 125 spots for people watching this video right now. But you must join today to ensure you secure your spot. With that being said, I'm going to show you how you can get your hands on Back Pain Breakthrough today. First, though, how should you use the program for best results? As you'll remember, the secret behind Back Pain Breakthrough is Dr. Steve's world-famous targeted spinal release method. This is the protocol you'll use each day to put your back into perfect alignment and get instant relief from back pain. For best results, Dr. Steve recommends using targeted spinal release first thing every morning, as that's when your back is most likely to hurt. But you can use it at any point in the day, including just before bed, to help you fall asleep, or even when you're at work. The best part is that it only takes 5 minutes per day to use, so it's really easy to fit it around your schedule. And using it just once per day will do wonders for your back pain. Now, many health experts have recommended that Dr. Steve charge $497 for the Back Pain Breakthrough System. That might sound like a lot, but remember, a year of seeing a chiropractor costs over $3,000. A year of physical therapy costs over $5,000. And spinal fusion surgery costs over $115,000. All of those options I just listed will take up a ton of your time and won't even get you the results you're looking for. Which is why I know that after everything you learned today, you won't even consider those options any longer. With everything that comes with your order today, including the full video masterclass and access to Dr. Steve's email hotline, Back Pain Breakthrough is worth well over $497. And really, can you put a price on getting out of pain? But while $497 would easily be fair, Dr. Steve didn't want to do that. His mission in life is to help 1 million people treat their back pain once and for all. And since money is tight for a lot of families, he wanted to make the program really affordable, which is why you won't pay anywhere near $497 today. You won't pay $397, $297, or even $197. Instead, you can get started today for just one payment of $97. That's right, for just $97, less than the cost of a single session with Dr. Steve, you can get full access to the 6-part video masterclass, the Targeted Spinal Release Method, and the Advanced Healing Techniques bonus guide. But there's more. Because you've watched this presentation all the way to the end, I'd like to invite you to join Back Pain Breakthrough at a special rate for new customers only. That means that instead of paying $97 today, Dr. Steve is going to take a whopping $60 off the retail price and allow you to join today for just $37. That's a gigantic discount, but you must sign up on this page to take advantage of this special discount. Remember, this offer is only available to new customers who join Back Pain Breakthrough through this page, and for the next 24 hours only. Again, for just $37, everything inside Back Pain Breakthrough can be yours. Less than the cost of eating out at a restaurant, and certainly less than seeing a chiropractor or physical therapist. This is literally the deal of a lifetime. However, you need to take action right now. If you're ready, go ahead and click that Add to Cart below to get started. Getting started with Back Pain Breakthrough couldn't be easier. Underneath this video, you'll see a bright Add to Cart button. When you click that button, you'll be immediately taken to our secure and encrypted order form. Take 60 seconds to enter your information, and you'll get instant access to the program. Again, just click the Add to Cart button below this video to get instant access to the program. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead, click the button, and let's get started. And remember, this offer is only available to new customers until spaces fill up, or for the next 24 hours only. But if you can see the button below, it means there's still time. Now, you might be wondering, what if this doesn't work for me? Well, let me set your mind at ease by telling you about Dr. Steve's Unconditional 60-day money-back guarantee. Here's how it works. Join Back Pain Breakthrough today at our deeply discounted new customer-only rate. Take a full 60 days to go through the program and see how it reduces, alleviates, and completely eliminates your back pain and sciatica. In the unlikely event that you aren't 100% thrilled with the results, contact Dr. Steve's customer support team, and you'll get a full and prompt refund, no questions asked. Now, I'd like to get serious for a moment and talk about what's going to happen if you don't make changes starting today. As you get older, your iliacus muscles are going to get tighter and tighter. Your spine is going to continue to deteriorate, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Back pain, sciatica, bulging, or slipped discs, these problems do not disappear on their own. As Dr. Steve always says, the longer you wait to deal with these problems, the worse they get. He's seen patients deteriorate very quickly as they get older. And the most frustrating part is they could have prevented it by making a few small changes. My own story should be a stark warning sign of what happens when you ignore back pain. After years of ignoring the warning signs, the discs in my back were on the verge of collapsing completely, slicing through my spinal cord and leaving me paralyzed from the waist down. I don't want you to end up on the surgeon's table. While I was lucky to find help before that happened, or before I needed surgery, you might not be so lucky. This is why I'm urging you so strongly to act today. Don't delay and make the same mistake that I did. Instead, join Back Pain Breakthrough today and live the pain-free life you deserve. You've come to the end of this presentation, and the way I see it, you've got 3 options you can take from here. Option 1, do nothing. Take everything you just heard, bury your head in the sand, and forget about it. Go back to your old life of hopelessness and despair. Continue to tell yourself that back pain is just a natural part of getting older. and live the rest of your days in agony. Option 2, try and do it all yourself. Spend hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars trying to figure it out for yourself before finally finding a solution after years of trial and error. Try to read all the peer-reviewed medical research by yourself and travel all across the country meeting with the world's top back pain experts before finally figuring out a natural method that works for you. Or there's option 3, the smart option, the intelligent option, the risk-free option. Join Back Pain Breakthrough today. Watch the 6-part video Masterclass and discover with step-by-step instructions how to treat your back pain in just 5 minutes per day from the comfort of your own home. Use the targeted spinal release method to realign your spine, get instant relief from back pain, and be completely pain-free in 30 days or less. And use the advanced healing techniques to customize the program to your specific body type to get pain-free even faster. If you're ready to finally treat your back pain and sciatica, possibly for the first time in months or even years, then you know what to do. Click the Add to Cart button below and take a minute to enter your information. You're covered by Dr. Steve's Unconditional 60-day 100% money-back guarantee. And in about 2 minutes from now, you'll already be on the way to your brand new pain-free life. Click that Add to Cart button right now and we'll see you inside the program. Still here? No problem. You've probably got some questions, and that's very common. Let me take a moment to answer some of the most commonly asked questions about back pain breakthrough, so you can make your investment today with total confidence. Question: how long before I start seeing results? This is the most exciting part. From the first time you use the targeted spinal release method found inside Back Pain Breakthrough, you'll begin to put your spine back into perfect alignment, which means you'll take pressure off the spinal nerves. This is why many users report instant pain relief. When it first happened to me, I broke into tears because it was so quick. However, everyone's body is different, and for some people, the results are more gradual. I recommend you give Back Pain Breakthrough at least 7 days to work its magic, but almost everyone starts to see dramatic results after 30 days. Question: I'm over 60 and worried I won't be able to do the movements. Should I still join? This is a very common question, so let me set your mind at ease. Targeted spinal release involves 3 very gentle movements that can be done by anyone, even people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. You'll never break a sweat or feel out of control in any way. You have total control over your body the whole time. Plus, the movements are structured with a progression. So if you're a beginner, you can start with the beginner movements and can get more advanced as you go throughout the program. Question: I'm a busy mom with 3 young children and a full-time job. Will I still have time to complete the program? Absolutely. As a busy working mom myself, I know firsthand how difficult it is to find time for yourself at the end of a long day. But the good news is that this program takes just 10 minutes per day to complete. And if you're really pushed for time, you can push that down to 5 minutes. Plus, everything is done from the comfort of your own home, so there's no driving to a gym or to see a physical therapist. You can fit it in around your schedule anytime you like. Question: are there any monthly charges? There are no monthly charges. When you place your order today, you'll get full access to Back Pain Breakthrough along with all the bonuses for a one-time payment of $37. Question: what if it doesn't work for me? Is there a guarantee? Absolutely. Your investment in Back Pain Breakthrough comes with a 60-day, 100% money-back guarantee. That means you have a full 2 months to try the program for yourself. If you haven't completely eliminated your back pain during that time, just contact our U.S.-based customer support team and we'll refund every penny of your order, no questions asked. Question: okay, I'm excited. How can I get started? It's so easy. Click the link below this video and you'll be taken to our secure, encrypted order form. Take 60 seconds to enter your information and voila, you'll get immediate access to Back Pain Breakthrough. So what are you waiting for? Click on the button below and place your order now. And let me be the first to welcome you to the Back Pain Breakthrough family and congratulate you on this wise decision to invest in your new pain-free life.